We're going to be focusing a little bit on twisting and rotation of the spine. So before we get started, I'm just going to remind you that your spine prefers to twist about a straight axis. So really focus today, anytime we're doing twisting, which will be a lot, on keeping your spine super straight and making sure everything feels comfortable. All right, let's have a seat and kind of get tuned in and see what's going on in our bodies. So that comfortable, steady, aligned spine is what we're looking for. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a big exhale through your mouth. Just take a moment to really feel into your skin. Notice everything that you're feeling. Start to do your nice deep yoga breathing, ujjayi breathing. Notice your thoughts, your emotions, your energy. Notice how connected you feel. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart and set your intention for your practice today. On your next inhale, restate your intention very clearly. And then as you exhale, send it out into the world. All right. So as I said, before we actually got started, I was letting some of you know that we're going to be doing some twisting. So before we even get up from our seated posture, I'm just going to kind of give you a little reminder that you have the capacity to twist from anywhere in your spine. And your spine goes from your tailbone to the base of your skull. Not all of your spine has mobility. Obviously, your tailbone and the part that's fused into your sacrum has no mobility. The SI joint should have very minimal mobility. You'll hear people talking about their SI joint moving. It should be exceptionally small, so actually no mobility there. But the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, and the cervical spine all have different levels of rotation. And so before we even get up, let's just do a little sort of kinesthetic reminder that we can control where we twist from. This is useful if you have any part of your spine that's tweaky or painful or uncomfortable or extra stiff. You can skip that part in a twist and a rotation if you're mindful. So what I'd like you to do is from a couple of inches below your navel, it'll be a small movement, but from just there, just twist to your right, just from a couple inches below the navel. It won't be much. You're going to keep your chin directly over your chest. Then move up to about where your navel is and twist a little more from there. Move up a couple inches and see what it feels like to twist from that spot. And you can do like I am and actually put your finger on the spot that you're trying to twist from. Move up a little bit from there, an inch or two. Try and twist from that spot. Stop and make a little check. Is your chin still directly over your chest? We're not turning the head. That would be the very last thing. Move your hand up a little higher. If you're like me, you're going to be closer to your sternum now. See if you can twist a little bit from there. Move a little higher up. Rotate. So you're up in the thoracic spine now. A lot of this is less mobile, and yet it does still move. Come a little higher up, should be a little bit below your collarbone. See if you can twist a bit from there. And then up around the collarbone, twist from there. So make sure your chin is still over your chest and that you can't really twist your spine any more than you are at this point. Now we move into the cervical spine, which is our neck. So about an inch above your collarbone, twist from there. That means you're beginning to turn your head. Move a little higher up, twist from there. And finally, up kind of under your chin towards the base of the skull and twist from there. Come back to the center. And then we're going to do the same thing the other way. And this time I won't guide you through. I want you to just feel it. You're going to start from a couple of inches below the navel. Make note of whether one side is easier to twist or the other. Make note of if there are any uncomfortable spots in your spine, what it feels like to bring them back to center and rotate from above and below it. So just want you to be really conscious of what it feels like vertebra by vertebra to twist. Here we go, twisting to the left from a couple inches below the navel. And then you just continue at your own pace, feeling your way into this. Make sure that the very last thing that rotates is your head. So your cervical spine, your neck, is the last thing that you want to twist. When you feel like you've gotten all the way around, come back to the center. And you can just roll your shoulders back a couple of times. And we're going to start standing now at the front of the mat. So just coming up to Tadasana, mountain pose, getting nice and rooted. I want you to really feel yourself connecting downward and then lifting up through the crown of the head and becoming straight and aligned. So whether you're seated, standing, or lying on your back, your spine will be more mobile if it's straight when it's rotating. So in this standing position, we're going to actually start with a gentle twist. I want you to bring your fingertips to your shoulders. And then I'd like for you to bend your knees a little bit. And it doesn't matter to me if you squeeze them together or not, but it does matter to me that you keep them pointing forward. And nice and slow on an inhale, rotating from your waist and above, turn to the right. And on your exhale, turn to the left. In other words, your knees point forward no matter what. You're not letting the knees turn with you. You're inhaling to the right and you're exhaling to the left. Come back to the center, straighten your legs, relax your arms for a moment. And we're gonna do the same thing, we're just gonna go the opposite way. So again, knees are bent, promise me you'll keep them pointing forward. Bring your fingertips to your shoulders. Now we're gonna inhale to the left and exhale to the right. Don't let the knees move, we're twisting from the waist and above. And as you finish your third breath in this direction, straighten your legs, release your arms, roll your shoulders back a couple of times, and let's bring our palms together in front of our heart. Big inhale as you reach your arms up. Now everything can rotate as you exhale, open out to the right. Arms are like a T, palms up. Inhale, arms come back up and overhead. Exhale, rotate open to your left. So you might actually feel your hips and everything moving a little bit here. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, rotate open to the right, and that's fine as long as it's comfortable. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, rotate open to the left. One more time. Inhale, palms touch overhead. Exhale, palms face the sky as you rotate to the right. Inhale, palms touch overhead. Exhale, rotate to the left. Bring your arms up and overhead. Now this time as you exhale, you're going to bend your knees and move into your ragdoll. Relax your neck. Bend those knees a little bit so that your back can lengthen. And then let's go ahead and plant the fingertips on the mat. Look up and lengthen halfway. And then move into a full forward bend. For some of you, you're going to keep your knees bent. Some of you may start straightening the legs. It's okay either way. We're going to step back with the left leg. And just hold the lunge for a moment. Plant that left hand firmly. Remember, length from tailbone to base of the skull, and rotate your right hand towards the ceiling. Bring your right hand down and drop your left knee. We're going to go ahead and extend the right leg and say hello to the right hamstring, just to get it stretched out a little bit. We don't want to neglect anything. And then bend the right knee, bring the arms up and overhead, pelvis tilts back, rib cage lifts, and the hips sink forward. So first you find that stretch on the front of your left hip, left thigh. Then we begin a little bit of rotation. So we're going to be taking our time with this today, like always. If it feels okay in your body, as you exhale, rotate to your right, arms out like a T. And maybe this is it for you. So just my final reminder to take care of yourself today. You can always stop at any point. If we go through multiple phases, don't go any farther than you want to. If you can, from here, your left elbow barely hooks outside the right knee or thigh. Right palm meets left palm. If you have prayer hands by your right armpit, that's kind of a no-no. We want to push into the palms, lift the torso way up, and twist to look over that right shoulder. So you do your best to lift away from the thigh. This is kind of phase 2. Now, only if you feel like you want to and you can, and by the way, you're welcome to use a block for this if you need to. If you'd like, now you can take your left armpit onto the top of the right thigh. Bring your left hand down beside your left foot and take your right hand to the ceiling. So you're splitting your prayer hands, so to speak. If this doesn't work for you, please don't force it. From here, we're going to bring the right hand down, take the left hand back where it was so that we can step our right knee back to meet the left knee, wag your tail, and then finally take a child's pose. Just take a couple of breaths here. Scoot forward into Sphinx to lengthen your spine. And then let's take our first downward facing dog. So of course you may move in your first down dog, but I encourage you to really spread the fingers and flatten out the palms here, because we want to use this pose as much as possible to lengthen the spine. The more length we have in the spine, the easier it will be to rotate it. So from downward facing dog, left foot's going to step forward up between the hands. And then we're going to go ahead and just keep that right hand planted, lengthening from the tailbone to the base of the skull. Rotate the spine, take the left hand towards the ceiling. We're going to bring the left hand down, drop the right knee down, and go ahead and extend the left leg, getting into the left hamstring. Flex that ankle and the toes of the left foot, please. And then we'll bend the left knee. Bring the arms up and overhead, tilt the pelvis back, allow your hips to move forward until you feel a stretch on the front of the right hip, right thigh. And remember, you're welcome to stay here. If you feel like you can on your next exhale, you're going to rotate your torso to the left. The arms are out like a T. If you can, purely optional, right elbow barely hooks outside left knee or thigh, palms come together, and we push into the hands to lift the torso up and look over left shoulder. So again, you're kind of shooting on getting prayer hands in the center of the chest. Only if it feels okay in your body do you go deeper, in which case you get your right armpit onto your left thigh, right hand touches the ground, and that left arm reaches up for the ceiling. We're going to bring the left hand back down, bring the right hand where it was, and step forward to a standing forward bend. While you're in your forward bend, I would love for you to bring your feet all the way together if you can. And then take a big inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, stretch up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. If it's all right with your neck, look at your thumbs. You're going to start poking your tailbone back, bending the knees, and reaching the tailbone behind you while you lift your chest. So this is Utkatasana. Take one more breath here. If it feels okay in your body, keep your hips in this position, bring your palms together. We're going to twist to the right. Left elbow outside right knee. Again, prayer hands in the center of your chest as you look over your right shoulder. Try and keep the knees together. Come back to the center. Twist to your left. Prayer hands in the center of the chest. Come back to the center. Raise the arms up. Straighten your legs and fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway, and exhale back down. We're going to step back with the left leg. Just find your lunge, lengthen your spine, and we'll take this nice and slow. Plant your left hand, just like we did our first sun salutation. Take your right hand towards the ceiling. Now we're going to bring the right hand down inside the right foot, kind of snugged up against the inside of your right ankle. Some of you may want to use a block under your right hand. So if you've got one, you can do that to raise up. You're also welcome to bring the torso up if you need to as we transition. What I'm going to ask you to do here is spin your left heel flat and just take that left hand towards the ceiling. So this is a deep side angle. And if it's too deep for you, you can come up and put that right forearm on the right thigh. If you can, from here, just rise on up, warrior two. Let's take the left hand to the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. Come back up, straighten your right leg. Find your triangle pose today. So both legs are going to stay straight. Right hand can be on your shin or on your foot or even on the floor. Left hand is up towards the ceiling. Now you're going to bring the left hand down. It can be on your shin or wherever you want it. I'm going to suggest a slight adjustment to your feet. So here's my suggestion. Left foot should step a tiny bit closer to your right foot, but slightly wider, meaning a little more to the left of the mat. Your left hand is going to be on your right shin or foot. If you're using a block, please put the block outside your right leg. We're going to take Revolved Triangle. So before you do anything else, try and pull your right hip back and then try and lengthen your spine. Remember, your body prefers to twist when the spine is extended. So really lengthen and then put your right hand at your waist. and start to rotate your torso to the right. So we're trying to get the spine to twist and not make this about the shoulder. Once you feel like you're as twisted as you're gonna get, if you want to take your right hand to the ceiling, you can do that, but you don't have to. Bring your right hand down, and let's just step straight forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, bring your palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And then back down. All right, this time we're gonna step back with our right foot. Just like we did on the other side, we're gonna take our time with this. It's really important to just make sure everything feels okay. So just like we did in the first sun salutation, you're gonna plant your right hand, lengthen your spine, take your left hand up towards the ceiling. Bring the left hand down inside your left foot or ankle. And if you need to, put the left hand on a block. Spin the right heel flat and take your right hand to the ceiling. It's a deep side angle, so make it shallower if you need to, which means if you have to, take your left forearm to your left thigh. And then from here, we're gonna rise up, warrior two. Right hand on the right thigh, left arm reaches up and overhead. Come on up, straighten that left leg. Kick your hips a little to the right, lengthen your rib cage to the left. Just find your regular triangle and take your time. So we're lengthening, getting everything prepared for our revolved triangle. So again, my suggestion is to bring the right hand down. Maybe, and this is pure preference, but you want to be able to change the alignment of the hips. That's why I'm suggesting this. Maybe step slightly closer with your right foot, but also more to the right, so that hips can rotate forward a little bit, meaning that left hip kind of pulls back, right hip pulls forward. Right hand is going to be on your shin or foot or outside the foot on the left side, and you want to lengthen your spine, right? We're going for that spinal length. Then I'd like you to put your left hand at your waist. Begin to revolve your torso to the left. Let this be all about the spinal twist. And then if you feel like you can take your left hand up towards the ceiling. From here, bring your left hand down. And this time we're gonna step straight back to downward facing dog. Lengthen your spine, stretch. Those of you that like vinyasas, please feel free to take one. The rest of us, let's take a child's pose. Drop to your knees, backside to heels, forehead down, breathe. If you're in child's pose with me, let's go ahead and scoot forward and lengthen out in Sphinx. And then we'll take downward facing dog. Push the tailbone up and back and stretch. And then walk your feet forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, reach your arms up and stretch. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So You've been doing some pretty deep twisting. Your spine should be feeling very alive. The cool thing about spinal rotation is you always get a little bit of hip opening. So now our balance pose is going to be a very twisty pose. We're going to do eagle, Gumdusana, and we'll build it from the ground up today. So you're going to stand on your right foot, spread your toes and plant your heel and bend your right knee. And then take your left thigh tightly over your right. If you need to slide the foot down so you've got your toes of your left foot on the ground, that's fine. Or you can kind of tuck your foot behind your calf or just let it rest beside. Once you get that, squeeze your thighs tightly and then take the left arm on top, right arm on bottom. If your shoulders are tight, you can just stop there, or you can get the palms of the hands to meet. I'd like you to drop your tailbone a little deeper so you're kind of squatting and then lifting the chest. So your spine is actually very straight. It's the rest of you that's twisted right now. Unwind. And we'll do the other side. Spread the toes of your left foot and plant your heel. Bend your left knee. Take the right thigh tightly over the left. If you need to, slide the toes down to the ground. Squeeze inner thighs together. Drop the tailbone down. This time your left arm is on the bottom and the right arm is on top. Really squeeze your thighs together. Lift the chest. Drop your tailbone. And unwind. Bring the feet together. Bring the palms together. Inhale, reach your arms up, stretch. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, back down. We're going to move back onto hands and knees. And go into the extra twisty version of threading the needle. So a lot of times I have you do thread the needle to open up behind the shoulders. You can also use it as a really nice spinal rotation move. And that's what we're going to go for today. So the first thing you're going to do, I'm going to turn a little bit here, is you're going to take your left leg out to the left. So I'm not mirroring you today. So left leg out to the left, that means your leg's going that way. I want you to make sure that your leg is totally straight and that your left foot is totally flat. So a lot of people just do this big toe thing down. I want the baby toe side of your foot suctioning onto the floor. This is your stabilizer. Think of it as an outrigger, like on an outrigger canoe. But think of it as a kickstand on your bicycle. Once you get your left leg out to the left and it's nice and straight, you can forget about it. It doesn't matter if you ever grab it or touch it. It will keep you stable. Now we do right arm threading the needle. Inhale your right arm up. Exhale, scoop it underneath. And if it's all right in your body, your left hand reaches for the ceiling and you continue to roll open. So you're trying to get some serious twist here. You're going to make sure your neck is okay. And you're going to rotate. And so the cool thing is this left leg, this outrigger, keeps you from rolling over. Take one more breath here. And then come on out of that, hands and knees. You're always welcome to wag your tail if you need to. And then take your right leg out to the right. So just a reminder, your leg is straight, your right foot is flat, including the baby toe side of your foot. You want that full foot flat. And then you can just forget about your right leg. Doesn't matter if you grab it or not, we do threading the needle on the left. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale, scoop it as far underneath you as you can. If you feel like you're able, right hand reaches for the ceiling. And then you start to roll. So we're trying to twist here and get as much rotation as possible. And this straight right leg is what keeps you stable. Come all the way out of that. Bring your right knee back underneath you. Wag your tail a little bit. Good. And then you're going to go straight into downward facing dog. Now, if you can, and of course you have to honor wrist issues, but if you can, just reach your left arm underneath you and either grab the outside of your right thigh or your right calf and kind of look under that right armpit. Again, a little bit of rotation. Left hand comes back onto the mat. Right hand reaches underneath you to grab left thigh or calf. You twist and look under left armpit. Come back to the center. Press your tailbone back. And then drop to your knees again. Arching around the back a little bit. And then those of you that are flowing with me, you'll be taking your last child's pose with me. Those of you doing vinyasas, you'll be taking your last vinyasa. We'll all meet up in downward facing dog in a couple of breaths. So if you're with me, take a child's pose, breathe into your low back. Scoot into a sphinx to lengthen out your spine one more time. And then downward facing dog. And you know I love you to lengthen as much as possible here. So don't just hang out, push through your hands. Reach your hips back, reach your heels down. Take a couple of extra breaths. And then you may walk your feet forward and have a seat. And we're actually going to start cross-legged, just an easy cross-legged position today. So you've already done kind of a segmented seated twist. We're going to just roll into it now and hold it for a couple of breaths. And again, I apologize, I am not mirroring you today. So you're going to be twisting to your right, which is that way. You're going to inhale and lift up through the crown of the head for a super straight spine. And as you exhale, you're going to twist to your right. Now, once you get your right hand behind you and your left hand on your right knee, I want you to inhale and lengthen the spine even more. As you exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper. Inhale, lengthening, exhaling and twisting. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. Rotate back around. If it's possible for you to switch the crossing of the legs, do that. Now we're twisting to the left. Lift up through the crown of the head. Rotate to your left. Once you get left hand behind you and right hand on your knee, inhale, lengthen from the tailbone to the top of your head. Exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper. Again, inhaling to lengthen the spine, exhaling to twist, and then do that one more time. Rotate back around, roll your shoulders back if you need to. Go ahead and extend your legs, Gumdusana. Just take a moment, straight spine, active legs, breathe. And then we'll keep the right leg straight, bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Just lean out over your right leg. Doesn't matter where you get with it. You just want to extend yourself over that right thigh. Wherever your left hand is, leave it there. It's in the perfect spot. Bring your right hand beside your right hip. Now, I like to switch my grip with my left hand to the outside of my right leg, but as long as you can pull a little bit, you don't have to. You're gonna really pull with your left arm, which is still somewhere on your right leg or foot, so that the elbow bends a little bit. And you're gonna push with your right hand to start to twist and look over the right shoulder. You may need to kind of fine tune your position, how much you pull, how much you twist. I usually try and get to a point where I can feel it like from my left hip all the way up to my left armpit and shoulder blade. Now, we're gonna come up from this and just pick the left knee up, hug it with the right arm, lift the chest, and bring the left hand behind us. Once you've had a breath here, if you feel like you'd like to take the right arm outside the left leg, you can certainly do that. Straight spine, rotating and twisting to the left. As you come back around, I want you to pick your left leg up. Kind of rock that left leg like a baby. Flex the left ankle. This is really important. And bring your left foot as high up on your right thigh as you can. Please keep the ankle flexed so that your knee is okay. And your left foot may be way down by your knee, or it might be up in the crease of the thigh. It's okay. We're going to twist to the left. Lift your chest. Left hand is behind you. Right hand is on that left knee. And you're twisting all the way around to the left. Rotate back to the front. Extend your left leg out. Give both legs a good wiggle. And then keep your left leg straight. Bring your right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Lean out over your right leg. And wherever your right hand is, it's a good place to keep it. We're going to bring the left hand beside the left hip. Pull a little more with that right arm and then push with your left hand to twist and look over that left shoulder. And again, fine tune it. How much you pull and how much you push with the left hand will determine where and how much you feel this. So fine tune it to suit you. Come all the way back around and come up and just pick your right leg up. Hug that right shin with your left arm, right hand behind you. Twist to look over right shoulder. And then only if you feel like you want to, you can bring that left arm, tricep, elbow outside the right knee to twist a little deeper. Rotate back around, pick your right leg up and flex your right ankle. Rock that leg a tiny bit, and then bring your right foot as high up on your left thigh as you can. Keep your right ankle flexed. We're twisting to the right again. Left hand is on the right knee, right hand is behind you as you twist and look over right shoulder. Good. Unwind from that. Extend your right leg out. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right, before we get onto our backs, just to throw a little bit of fun in. Last time we got together, we did some core work. Yay. So we're just going to remind our bodies about that by doing a twisting boat. See how I kind of dovetailed those two together? You're going to grab behind your thighs with your knees bent and then lift your chest and then lift the feet off the ground. Extend your arms. It doesn't matter if you straighten your legs or not. If you can, go for it. But if not, keep the knees bent. Then I want you to bring your palms together and rotate to your right. Remember, straight spine. Good. Rotate to your left. Straight spine. And you have to breathe. Come back to the center. Put your feet on the mat. Take your time. Roll down onto your back. Hug your knees. Rock side to side. We're going to start with a really gentle twist and work up a little deeper. But this is a nice way to just remind you if your spine doesn't like deep reclined twists, which by the way are quite different from standing and seated. If your back doesn't like it, then you get to just kind of repeat the gentler one or hold it. So let's keep knees bent and together. Drop them over to the right. Let the left arm open out to the left and turn your head to the left. So you know now that your neck is really just the upper part of your back. And the reason that we turn it in the opposite direction is that completes the twist. It's just like when you do a seated twist and the last thing you do is turn your head to look over the opposite shoulder. It's the same when you're lying on your back. So as long as your neck is okay with it, your head's turning to the left while your legs are dropping to the right. On your next inhale, bring those knees back up. And as you exhale, just drop them over to the left. Let your right arm open up to the right. And of course, your head turns to the right. Now you know why. You probably already knew why. Because you're very smart. So I was just reminding you. On your next inhale, bring the legs back up, hug them in, and rock side to side. So this is where you get to decide. If you need to repeat that, you know what to do. Just keep your knees bent and drop them to the right. If your back is okay with deeper twisting, I want you to put your right foot on the floor. Your left thigh really tightly crosses your right thigh, kind of like we did in our standing balance. Some of you will have the flexibility to tuck your left foot behind your right calf. Go for it if you want to, but you don't have to. But the right foot comes back down onto the mat. Then you drop your knees to the right and you open your left arm out to the left. Remember, if this doesn't feel yummy on your back, you uncross your legs. Regardless of which position your legs are in, check in and make sure that your spine feels long from your tailbone to the base of the skull. It's part of why we keep the right foot on the mat. If you let your knees pull in towards your chest, your spine is no longer straight. You're in a rounded back position, which is not good. Take one more breath here. Not that it's not good, but it's not good in a twist. All right, bring your legs back up. If your knees are crossed, keep them crossed. And if they're not, that's okay too. We're going to pick the right foot up off the ground and draw a couple of big circles in the air in each direction with the knees. So our back's been doing a lot of twisting. It deserves a little bit of love. That's what we're doing right now. And then uncross your legs if they were crossed. Hug your knees in, and you may rock side to side. So if you're not going to do the deeper version, just keep your legs uncrossed, drop them to the left. If you're going deeper, left foot on the mat, right thigh tightly crosses left. You keep the left foot down, the right arm opens out, and you twist to the left with your head turning to the right. You want to focus on feeling length on both sides of the spine here. Couple more breaths on this side. On your next inhale, bring your legs back up. If they were crossed, keep them crossed. Let's take those 2 big circles in the air with our knees and make sure that we do 2 circles each direction. And then go ahead and uncross your legs, hug your knees in, and rock side to side. Now, some of you guys are going to need to do bridge pose for your inversion. Please honor neck and shoulder issues. If you can hike your hips into your hands, it doesn't even have to be a good shoulder stand. If you can hike your hips into your hands, we're going to play with one final twist in an inverted position. So bridge pose if you need to. Otherwise, get your bum in your hands. Make sure that you have a little bit of space at the back of the neck. If you're able, bend your knees with your toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And maybe the knees come towards the forehead. Maybe not. Now, I don't want you to move your head at all. It's really important that your head stays stationary. But see what it feels like to bring both bent knees over to the right, almost like you're going to put your left knee on your right ear. And then bring the legs back up and do the other side, almost as though you're going to put your right knee on your left ear. And then bring the legs back up. Let the knees open out, soles of the feet together. Rotate your hips to the right. Rotate your hips to the left. Extend the legs back up and slowly roll yourself down. If you were in bridge, lower down. We're all going to hug our knees and rock side to side. And then earlier I told you when you do twisting, you actually do get some hip opening. So you get to explore that for a few breaths in your happy baby. Reach down, grab the outside edges of your feet. Move around a little bit. You may be surprised that the hips feel pretty open after all of that twisting. So just take a few breaths. Enjoy what that feels like. And then we're going to bring the feet all the way down to the mat, ankles and knees together. A couple of little hip rolls, dropping both knees to one side on an exhale, bringing them up on an inhale and dropping them the opposite direction on an exhale. Let's go a couple more times on each side. You can just follow your breath here. And when you feel like you're even and you're ready, you just let the knees drop open. Soles of the feet together. We're going to inhale and press the low back into the mat. So we're tilting the pelvis back. Just kind of holding this little scoop, as they call it in Pilates, scooping the belly. And then exhale and release. And do it one more time. As you breathe in, you're tilting the pelvis back, removing that natural arch that's in your low back. And then on your next exhale, you just relax and that natural curve returns. Begin to extend your legs. And find all the best spots for all the body parts. Your hands, of course, should be lower than your shoulders. And if it feels okay, the palms face up towards the ceiling. Let your eyes close. Let your jaw soften. Take a big inhale. And just let it all out with a sigh. Just feel your body settling down and softening. As your body settles and softens, notice your breathing. And then let's just play with our perception of our breath. I want you to imagine that you're actually breathing in through the arches of your feet, through the soles of the feet. You're inhaling, and that breath is coming all the way up your body to the crown of the head. And your inhale brings in anything that you need or want. When you exhale through the crown of the head, and that breath goes all the way back down the body and out the soles of the feet. And the exhale takes with it anything you don't want or need. So you inhale through the arches of the feet and wash the breath all the way up to the crown of the head, drawing in what you need. You exhale from the crown of the head all the way back down, washing the breath through and out the soles of the feet, releasing and purging anything that you don't want. If your mind wanders off, that's okay. Be kind to yourself, forgive yourself, and bring it back to the breath, washing the breath through the body. Almost like a wave coming in through the soles of the feet, washing all the way up to the crown of the head. Like a wave moving back into the ocean, washing from the crown of the head back out through the soles of the feet. Slowly allow those breaths to just stop as you feel your body returning to your normal pattern of breathing, inhaling through the nose to inflate the lungs and exhaling from the lungs back out the nose. And as you return to your normal perception of your breath, notice how the rest of your body feels. Notice the muscles, notice the bones, the joints, notice your skin, all of your internal organs. Notice how it all feels. And also notice how you feel mentally and emotionally. Perhaps you feel really good having brought in things that you needed. Perhaps you feel really cleaned out, having released and purged things you didn't need. Maybe you just feel relaxed, or maybe you don't feel any different. And that's okay too. Just notice. And then you can begin to move your fingers and toes a little bit. Start deepening your breath, taking a deeper inhale to spread the fingers and toes. Exhaling through the mouth to relax them. Even deeper breath in, stretching, stretching, stretching. And then exhaling through the mouth. Bend your knees, either hugging them in, or you can just bend the knees and let the feet rest on the floor. And when you're ready, roll to your right side. And from your right side, press up into sitting. As you come up to your seated position, really lift up through the crown of the head and allow the shoulders to relax down the back. Notice how your spine feels. You should feel very alive. I hope. That's my hope for you. So what we're going to do for our pranayama, for our breath work today, we're just going to do that hissing breath. And so you'll be inhaling through the nose and you'll be exhaling through closed teeth. Just a reminder, we all breathe at different rates. So my exhales might be faster than yours because my teeth are uneven. If you have straight teeth, it takes longer to breathe out, which is beautiful. But it might take me longer to inhale than it does you. So the point is, it doesn't matter. I just want you to do 3 of these. We'll kind of start at the same time, but you'll do your 3 and then just let your hands come to prayer. And we'll kind of meet up there. All right. So here we go. Breathing into hiss. And you'll just do 3. So as everyone finishes out and brings palms together in front of the heart, take the opportunity to really feel how you are right now, right here in this moment. Your body, your breath, your mind, your heart, your energy, your connection. And take a moment in gratitude. Gratitude that we have this practice. Gratitude that we have our health. Gratitude that we have each other. And then take one more big inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. Palms to the forehead, just as a reminder to stay present, to stay in the here and now. Palms to the lips, as a reminder to speak our truth. Palms to the heart, as a reminder to always practice kindness and compassion and love, and to include ourselves in that practice. Thank you so much for joining me, my twisted friends. Namaste.